Welcome to the lecture series on electrical power generation and utilization. Here in this video, we will learn about layout of thermal power plant. Just layout, nothing more than that. And individually, every block will be studied in our further videos elaborately. This video only emphasizes about the complete visualization of thermal power plant layout. A generating station which converts heat energy of coal combustion into electrical energy is known as thermal power station. Basically works on Rankine cycle. The layout which you are seeing now is the complete thermal power plant layout. We will understand and draw this layout step by step. For ease of understanding, I am making this complete layout into three parts. First part consists of coal handling plant, ash handling plant, boiler, etc. And in second part we will see about turbine, alternator, exciter, bus bars. And in last sub part we will see about condenser, cooling towers, feed water pumps, etc. After that, we will add all these three parts and visualize the complete layout of thermal power station. We will start with coal storage. Coal is transported to the plant by road or rail and is stored in coal storage plant. And now, the coal is delivered to coal handling plant. In coal handling plant, the coal is pulverized, means the coal is grinded to a small particles in order to increase the thermal efficiency by increasing its surface exposure, which in turn lead to the rapid combustion of coal. This pulverized coal is fed to boiler by using belt conveyors, and the coal is combusted in the boiler. Now in the boiler we supplied combusted coal. Now our next target is to supply hot air to the boiler to increase the temperature of the combustion and as well as to increase the thermal efficiency. This is done by providing air preheater. After supplying coal and hot air to the boiler, the main thing to pass to a boiler is water. The water will convert into steam by taking heat from high temperature combusted coal. So let's see, we supplied pulverized coal, hot air from air preheater and water from economizer to boiler. And now from the boiler, we will get three outcomes. The first one is steam, which is passed to the superheater. Second thing is ash. Because of combustion of coal, we get a huge quantity of ash, which has to immediately taken over from the boiler for proper burning of coal. The average ash content produced is around 10 to 15% of coal-fired. The ash from the boiler is immediately moved to ash handling plant and from there to ash storage plant for disposal. And now the last outcome from the boiler is flue gases. When we burn the coal, hot flue gases will be evolved and in order to increase efficiency of thermal plant, we will use the heat from flue gases. These flue gases will be passed through in a systematic manner. First through superheater, then to economizer and next to air preheater. In superheater, steam superheats by taking heat from flue gases. And in economizer, the water will heat further by absorbing heat from flue gases. And in the air preheater, air will become hot by absorbing heat from flue gases. And the main thing noted here is there will be no physical contact between these things with flue gases. These flue gases will be passed through a separate channels where it will not have any physical contact with steam, water and air. Flue gases are sucked by the induced draft fans, like for example, the fans you see in the kitchen. Just like exhaust fans, these flue gases will be sucked by the induced draft fans, and then by using electrostatic precipitators, small finite particles of dust or fly ash from exhaust gases are removed, and then passed to the chimney and chimney to the outside atmosphere. Along the induced draft fan, there is another fan named forced draft fan, which sucks the air from atmosphere and passes to the air preheater. And this cold air will become hot by taking heat from flue gases. And then this hot air is passed to boiler. This is the first part of the layout. Now we will see the second part of the layout. The steam from the superheater is projected towards the turbine, but in between there will be a steam valve, which controls the steam to be projected towards the turbine. And next, the turbine and alternator rotor is coupled, and when the turbine starts to rotate due to high steam production, the rotor of the alternator also rotates and develop electrical energy, and the power generated by alternator is supplied. This is the second part of the layout. Now we will see the last part. After that, we will club all these parts to form a meaningful layout of thermal power station.
The exhaust steam from turbine will be condensed by using condenser. When the steam condensed, it will turn into water. For condensating the steam, we need to take help from cool water from nearby rivers or ponds. This cool raw water will be passed on exhaust steam with separate channels. And the exhaust steam absorbs the coolness from raw water and then becomes condensated water. This condensated water will be pumped by condensate extraction pump. And the other side, the raw water temperature is increased because it gained heat from the hot steam. This hot raw water should not be discharged to rivers or ponds due to ecological concerns. And this raw water will be cooled by using cooling towers. After cooled by using cooling towers, an additional add of water from ponds or rivers are to be added. And total raw water again passed to condenser, and again the condenser condensates the steam and turns the exhaust steam to demineralized water. And this demineralized water will be pumped by the condensate extraction pump. While raw water again gains heat, and for cooling purpose, we will pass the raw water to cooling tower and reduce the temperatures. This cycle continues. Along with the condensated water, some additional water has to be supplied from river. Due to presence of lots of minerals and wastes in the rivers or pond water, first they should be treated well with water treatment chambers. And then the demineralized water along with the condensated water is pumped by the feed water pump and from there to the feed water heater and to the economizer. For every complete cycle, there is loss of water because of steam conversions or evaporations. So this loss of working fluid should be maintained well by adding extra water from ponds or rivers via water treatment plant. This is the complete third part. Now we will add all these three parts to make a complete thermal power plant layout. So this is the complete layout of thermal power plant from cold storage to power generation. We will learn elaborately about each block in our upcoming lectures. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.